Page 30, O Sole Mio. Very famous melody, and this is in just about every method book or repertoire book there is, I think. There are words to this, although there's no words in this arrangement. This is a nice little arrangement. It's interesting. Let's look it over. 2 pages long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in a key signature, so we're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale. I got videos on it. You've heard this lecture before. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. 4/4 time signature. Let's take it one hand at a time and make sure we understand what the hands are doing. Right hand, you're starting out with 5th finger on C. And you don't need most of these other finger numbers. Please don't be reading finger numbers. You just occasionally, when you have to move that hand around, you might need a finger number, but otherwise, no. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See, that's tied. And then 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then measure 6. Then 4. We're taking advantage of the repeated note to change because we're out of position now to go on. We need to be here. So we're just changing. Then to measure 9, during the rest we come back up here. I'm going to use 3rd finger on the A flat because 3rd's on A. Here. And it stays in A flat. See, it's tied into the next measure, but this is the one time when an accidental can cross the bar line. If it's tied note, you keep it. Don't change it because you crossed the bar line. But then on the last A, they have to have the flat there, or it would be an A natural. Do you follow that? Maybe I better explain that a little better. I don't want to confuse you too much yet. So on measure 10, you have an accidental, a flat sign. That note is tied into measure 11. Therefore, you hang on to it. You don't change it. So the flat still applies to the tied note in measure 11, but only that note. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good. So the later on in that measure 11, they give you another A. They have to give you another flat sign, or that would be an A natural, because the flat from measure 10 doesn't apply anymore. So on a tied note, you hang on to it, but only for the tied note. So measure 10 is here, 3, 4, 1. And then during the rest, measure 13 come down. Get the idea? Now measure 17, you get a rest. Measure 16, you finished here. And the measure 17, during the rest, you got to come up 2 octaves because of the 8VA. The notes are written here, but the 8VA sends it up here. So you got to come from here to here. You get 1 beat rest. And you're doing the whole thing again, but this time you're up here because the 8VA is on every line. The whole page is up here in the right hand. Left hand, well, let's see what it's doing. It's broken chords. You got a C and then here. So if you take those 2 measures together, it's a C chord. It's a broken C chord. I mean, a broken chord doesn't have to be within a measure. The point is, it's just, yeah. And then here, it's a G7 chord. Measure 9, you're here, and then measure 10, it's here, and you come up here. If you don't want to be up in here, then you do the 2, 3. That's fine. At the end, the bottom, last 2 measures, the last note again is a C. 2 ledger lines below is down here. And the 8VA only applies to the staff it's next to, so the left hand doesn't move. The left hand stays where it's at. Only the right hand moves. So at the beginning now, the hands together, these should beat 1 is this place, but that's tied. And then you play this and lift up the left hand. Because it has a rest on beat 3. It's we want to be accurate on when we lift the hands up. Please be accurate. This is measure 6. Measure 17 when you go up, because major 16 is here, and then rest. Both hands are resting for one beat. The right hand comes out just like you were at the beginning, except you're out higher, but the left hand stays here. So you work out the notes and the rhythms, and when you feel you're ready, then you can try the articulation, which really all they have are phrases, slurs. You connect it as best you can. Lift up, lift up, connect this. And of course for the rest, you have to lift up. Just the left hand connected as best you can. You have to lift up for the rest. You can't always connect repeated chords. You can never connect them actually, but do the best you can on trying to connect the left hand. Then dynamics goes to the melody. Moderately loud, mezzo forte. This left hand needs to be soft. Now you get down to measure 9, you have the hairpins. You're going to go up to loud here. Here, stay there, and you come down there. It's an interpretive thing, and exactly when you get high and low and whatever, you feel it. But it's the right hand. Keep the left hand in the background. And then measure at the end. The measures 15 to 16, just down to soft, because you're moderately loud, then soft. The left hand's very soft. Then measure 17, you're moderately soft here. That means the left hand has to be very soft. You see, the idea with piano, when you're low, it'll get loud by itself. And when you're high, it tends to want to get soft by itself. So when I'm this far apart, it's easy for the left hand to overpower the right. So we have to exaggerate it just a little. So I've got to make sure my left hand is really soft, because this I want to sound sort of soft, and in order for this to be under it, I have to really be soft. Because if I just play this soft, it'll come out the same as what the right hand is doing. So you have to account or adjust your dynamics by where you are on the keyboard. And here, because I'm so far apart, I'm going to make the left hand really soft. And we stay that way until measure 25. You're going to moderately loud, like you were before. You're not loud, just moderately loud. Left hand stays in the background. And at the end, last 3 measures, you retard on and get soft. And that's a kicker. Let's look at that. You're slowing down. Means that note, that C that's tied for 2 measures, is going to last longer because you're counting slower, because you slowed down. Well, it dies away. Well, while you're doing that, you're doing this in the left hand. Well, all the time I'm doing this in the left hand, I want to hear that. Don't overpower it. So you got to be really super soft in the left hand. See, when I play that note, I still want to hear that note. Don't use the soft pedal, that's cheating. You do it with the hands. You're just very relaxed. You just hear, and then here you stroke it. Just a gentle stroke. Yeah. Takes practice, but that's good practice. So as you're doing the scales, practice on how soft you can play them. How soft can you get on a C major scale? Just as soft as you possibly can. Good practice. Yeah. As far as the speed goes, you can hear recording. Don't play it too slow, because that just drags. These half notes and all just it's got to flow. It's just a gentle stroll. in there. Just a gentle stroll. It's not the speed of the beat. It's the overall feel of the piece. And then, of course, they've added pedal. Okay. It adds the overtones, and it lets us connect the repeated notes. I'm going to push the note down first and then the pedal. Second measure, you hear note first, then the pedal. Now, yuck. Take a look at measure 7. They don't pedal that. They don't pedal that because that would smear them. You get that. I think this is a love song, and that ain't very lovey. But in my opinion, it should be the same on all these others. On these quarter notes, I would not pedal any of them. I would lift the pedal up with the left hand. So at the beginning again, when the left hand comes up, pedal does too. Same thing here. So you'll measure 7 here. As I play the D, I lift the pedal up. And I measure 9. I'd lift the pedal up with the hand. And I'll measure 13. Here, again, I don't want all that. So I'm not going to pedal. I'm going to lift the pedal up on beat 3. See, here I could say lift the pedal up with the left hand, except it's not a half note. It's a whole note. So now I got to say lift the pedal up on beat 3. I could have said that on the others, lift the pedal up on beat 3. It's just easier to think of it as lift the pedal up with the left hand. That's why I said that. But here you get, now it's beat 3. And same thing here, lift the pedal up as you play the E here, right there. Now, going from measure 16 to 17. If you want to hear the rest, like at the beginning we had a rest, if you want to hear it, you got to lift the pedal up. So I'd lift the pedal up with the right hand on measure 16, and then don't pedal measure 17. And page 31, I'm going to pedal the same as page 30. Yeah. That's how I would recommend you pedal. I don't recommend you pedal these quarter notes too much. Oof.